name is Stratton from the KlopasStratton team, and welcome to the Definition series. And we are going to tackle wood-burning fireplaces. It's Chicago. A lot of you guys do have these. And let's talk about the maintenance, because maintenance is extremely important when it comes to wood-burning fireplaces. There are three main parts when you're talking about a fireplace: the base assembly, the firebox, and the chimney. The base assembly, not a lot of you will have this because it's more of a suburban thing, or if you have a really big house. The firebox assembly is kind of what we all see, and the chimney is what you see from the outside. All three important spots, and some of them visual, and some of you've seen, and some of them that you've never seen and you should know about. So we'll first talk about the base assembly. We'll go quick on this one because not a lot of people have it. The base assembly is basically what makes up the foundation of the fireplace: an ash dump and a clean out. In the suburbs or in bigger houses, you actually can clean out the fireplace from the outside and pull all the ash out. There's companies that do this and clean out huge fireplaces. And other people, when they have an ash dump, will go in and just pull the ash out of there. This base assembly normally goes all the way to the basement into the foundation area. The second part's pretty much what we all see all the time, and that's gonna be the smoke chamber assembly and the firebox, which is basically the code word for the fireplace. The fireplace basically has an opening that we know about where heat comes in and out, and you see the fire, you put in the logs. And then you have what's just called the throat, which kind of makes sense. And then you have the damper that goes in the smoke chamber. The real important thing to know about when you're talking about the firebox assembly, and the main part of it, is going to be the damper, and I will spend time on that. The damper needs to be open when you are having a fire. If you don't have the damper open, and it's normally a little bit of a swing switch over here, if you don't have the damper open, all the fire that's burning, all the smoke will come into your house and cause a lot of damage. If you are not burning a fire, you do not want the damper open. Why not? Because then all the heat which goes up will travel through the firebox assembly and go through the smoke chamber, and you lose a lot of energy. So when you have a fire going on, you want the damper open. When there is no fire, you want the damper closed. The fire brick is right here, and that's basically what is a shield of the heat. You want to keep a really good eye on this. You want to make sure that there's no cracks and it's always looking good. Anytime that you're about to start the season off, make sure that you have not only the chimney swept and clean, but you make sure your fire bricks are checked for cracking, because this could be an extreme safety hazard. And don't forget also to have that CO2. So this is the other main part. You've got that brick, that fire brick, that you want to make sure is not broken and that it's in good working situation. The second one is going to be the flue lining. The flue lining is important. This is kind of when you have a lot of issues with fireplaces, because you will have corrosion that is coming up almost like a soot, and that will build up on the flue lining. It actually can catch fire. So you want to make sure that that is swept. I know we talked about it, but I really want to make sure that you guys do that. The other thing that the flue lining does, it stops carbon monoxide from passing through the brick and going into the house. So that flue lining is really, really important that it's there and that it's in good working condition. A lot of times, to go back on tuck pointing, a lot of times when you see a chimney and you have a lot of tuck pointing needed on the chimney from the outside, that means there's an issue with the flue. Because when there's cracks in this flue lining, as that CO2 passes through, it passes through the brick and it will ruin the mortar joints. So what happens if you buy an old house? A lot of old houses, they won't have stainless steel flue linings like you see here. A lot of times they'll have clay. This clay can crack, and when it does, and you do see some issues and you are getting CO2, what they're gonna do is drop a stainless steel liner through the chimney, and that liner will go all the way down. And to go back, there is that liner. It'll go straight to the smoke chamber, so when that smoke comes up, it stays within that liner and doesn't create issues. Here is an aerial view and a cutout, a really good picture. And I always think that this little yellow that you see right here, this is probably like the old clay liner, and this is the stainless steel on top of it. This cap right here, that stops just in case you have like ambers that go through, it stops it from flying out to other neighbors and to trees. And on top of it, it stops animals from nesting and going into the liner. That is no good. I hear about it once in a while. You do not want any animals inside this stainless steel and coming into your house. Thank you so much for spending some time with us on fireplace construction and the liner and the safety of it. Just remember, with fireplaces, you want to have them cleaned out before every season. You may even want to clean them out before the end of the season. You want to make sure your flue liner is working. If you have an old fireplace, you may want to think about taking out the clay liner and dropping in a stainless steel flue liner. And then you also want to make sure that all your fire bricks that kind of repel the heat in that chamber, that you want to make sure that all those are in good working order. And always have carbon monoxide and make sure that they're working and they're less than 8 years old. You constantly want to change those. Fireplaces are fantastic. We love the crackle, we love the heat, but at the same time, it is fire inside your house and they can be dangerous. So make sure you take the safety precautions necessary. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and we will see you at our next definition series for KlopasStratton.